Ahava blessings. Welcome to this episode of Embodying the Shekhinah. This podcast is here to support us and guide us during these times of accelerating energy of ascension in order to integrate, embody, remember our soul essence. I'm your host. My name is Aurea. I am an ordained Magdalene priestess, a Reiki master, energy and sound alchemist. And happy full moon eclipse in the sign of Virgo. Ooh, this energy is very watery and very intense, deeply healing and transformative. It's a very powerful cocktail as we have a stellium in Pisces. And we are in the lunar cycle of Pisces Adar. So there's a lot happening. So let's start with the beginning. This full moon will be exact at 6:37 a.m. Eastern Standard on March 3rd. This energy will be exact at 6:37 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on March 3rd. That will be 3:37 on the West Coast and 12:37 Central European Time for our friends in Europe. And this moon is happening at 12 degrees of Virgo. 12 degrees is the number 3 in Gematria. The number 3 is associated with Sarasvati, with creativity, with the Trinity, with communication, with infinite possibilities, and with knowing, the deep knowing that every moment you are co-creating your experience, your reality. It is a number that brings gifts when we are conscious of our actions, when we are responsible, when we take full responsibility for what we are creating. That means there is no spiritual bypassing. There is no blaming something outside of you for whatever is happening in your life. No, this number, this energy is all about accountability and responsibility. And it is also a number that brings activations, and it is a number that is about sharing your gifts. It's a very masculine number, so it has a very yang energy. Be careful not to burn yourself out, as that is the shadow. Masculine energy can overdo things. We don't want to overdo things, especially with Mercury being retrograde. And yeah, we don't want to burn ourselves out. We also don't want to forget to connect with ourselves. We don't want to lose the connection. So from the 1 and the 2, the 1 became the 2, duality coming into unity, which now we come into the 3. The key to accessing the gifts of the 3 is to remember the 2. Remember that in all moments we are co-creating. In all moments we are harnessing the energy of bringing together duality, of integrating opposing views, opposing energies. Every moment we are, through the bringing together of these seemingly opposing energies, we are creating divine union, the divine child, which is the 3. This moon is happening in Virgo, and myself having a moon in Virgo, it is a very dear energy to me. Virgo is the high priestess. Virgo is the virgin queen sovereign. Virgo rules the 6th house, which is about our daily habits, our body, our health. Virgo is a very analytical, perfectionist energy. Virgo wants to do the thing and do it right. Virgo does not fluff around with half-assing. Virgo doesn't. Virgo likes to do their due diligence. Virgo is methodical. Virgo is meticulous. Virgo is organized, highly, highly organized and structured. Virgo likes to get the things done. So it is an energy of putting our ducks in a row. And this is the funny thing. We have an eclipse. A total eclipse in Virgo. And the total eclipse wants to put all your ducks in a duck chipper, in a wood chipper. So we have the energy that wants to be very meticulous, very organized, very, do the things and dot the I's and cross the T's. And then we have an energy that wants to basically toss out everything that is not serving you, wants to do away with what does not bode well for you. So it is a very seemingly opposing energy. However, it works very well because Virgo doesn't like to do things incorrectly. And when we have a bunch of energies, some of which we don't quite know what to do with and doesn't fit and no longer aligns with us and with our evolution as soul, it's time for those energies to move out. And this is what this full moon eclipse is bringing. It is an ending of cycles. It is a closing of karmic loops. It is because the moon is conjunct the south node, and the south node has to do with our past lives. There is an energy of tying up loose ends, of a very karmic energy to this eclipse. There are lessons that could be coming back, lessons that maybe we have not fully integrated. And if there are lessons or people coming back, we need to pay attention, because it is important to use this energy to cleanse and to clear these karmic cycles, close the karmic contracts, close the karmic loops. The sun is conjunct the north node, which is about mission and purpose and being illuminated. This mission, your purpose, what your soul came here to do is being highlighted. It is being activated. But in order for you to step into your mission, to step into your power, to step into your sovereignty, which is Virgo, you need to let go. You need to allow yourself to shed the layers that are not you. Shed the layers that the programs, the limiting beliefs, the patterns, the karmic loops, all the stuff that we've been holding on to, we need to let it go, because we cannot bring it forward. If you want to step into your mission, you must be willing to let go. Let go of how you think that mission should look like, who you think you will be when you are in your mission. You need to let go of all preconceived notions. The ego mind that has you thinking that things have to look a certain way, that is what we need to surrender. Surrender to the divine and truly trust that you are being divinely guided and divinely protected. The 3 energy is, it's also, the 3 is ruled by Saturn. Bait created Saturn. The Aramaic Hebrew creation frequency, Bait, is the letter that created Saturn. So I'm being called, if you do work with me and a lot of the Aramaic Hebrew creation frequencies, I do welcome you to work with the Bait. If you have taken the 7 days of creation course, the Bait is aligned with Monday. And it is a day where we go within and we allow ourselves to birth something new. And the Bereshit, which is the first word of the Genesis, which is creation, creating infinitely. So this energy really is about creation. What are we creating? And taking full responsibility for what we have created and what we are creating in this moment, because every moment we are co-creating. And so certain paths you will find are closing and others are opening. Do not focus on what is not moving, what is not working. Learn to pivot, learn to flow. Be willing to sit in the stillness. And I know that this is uncomfortable. For years, I could not meditate because I could not sit still with my own thoughts. I'm telling you, it's worth it when you learn how to be still, how to be emptied of your egoic nature. It is very powerful when you can empty yourself of all of those things that you are not. Be willing to sit in the stillness. This is how we can receive the messages in their purity. This is how we can know where our energy is and where our energy is best used, best utilized, best employed, best put in service of the soul. We need to be still in order to receive. With Mercury being retrograde in Pisces, communication is heightened. This is a very emotional time, especially with the stellium in the water sign of Pisces. It's a very intuitive time. It's a very insightful time. With Mercury retrograde, go easy. Now is not the time to be trying to move faster than the energies, than your soul wants to move. Now is the time to review, rewind, revisit, reconfigure, reimagine, all the re's. We want to slow down. We want to really receive what we are here to birth. We want to be slow and deliberate in our communication. We want to be intentional. Do not take anything personally. Everyone is going through their own stuff. There is no human being on this earth that is free of their own karmic stuff. And with the moon eclipse being conjunct the south node, there's a lot of shadow energy. There's a lot of unprocessed subconscious stuff that will be coming up left and right. You will be triggered if you are not centered. You will be triggered if you are centered, which is why it's all the more important to really ground in your essence, ground in your heart. Have practices that always align you back to the light of creation, back to the divine, back to your essence, back to your soul. We have Uranus at 27 degrees of Taurus, and it is in a sextile with the Venus-Mercury conjunction in Pisces. There will be unexpected shocks, especially we have the conjunction of Saturn and Neptune in Aries at the first and second degree of Aries. So unexpected shocks, disruption, deep transformation. Jupiter retrograde in Cancer is in a trine with the Sun. This means that all of the energies for expansion, for good luck, for good fortune that Jupiter brings into the mix when it's exalted in Cancer, all of that is feeding and nurturing the Sun in Pisces. But the Sun is also conjunct, as I mentioned, the North Node and Mercury. So with this exaltation of Jupiter, there's a lot of good energy that is coming our way. But we must be still and be slow and be deliberate in order to receive it and to integrate it. The Sun is, of course, the self, the ego, the Mercury energy, which is conjunct Mercury, which is our mind, thinking, communication, the word. North Node, our mission, our purpose. Both Mercury and Jupiter are retrograde, which means these energies are more marked than they would be. This is why I keep saying, tread lightly, slow down, be still, be steady, be deeply intentional. Pay attention to all the details. I know sometimes we don't like to read. We kind of tend to skim through things. We don't like to actually go down into the nitty-gritty and see what's really happening. Now is not the time to do that. There are times cosmically, energetically, when we can get away with, kind of like glossing over, just looking for the highlights. No, now is not the time to look for the highlights. Now is not the time to get the Cliff Notes version of whatever it is that you're looking at. Now is the time to dive deep into the research, deep into the things that you need to be looking at, that you need to be doing, that you need to be feeling, because if not, you're going to miss the big picture. You're going to miss the things that you need to be doing in order to be fully embodied, in order to actualize your purpose, your soul, your mission. You're going to miss it because you're not paying attention to the details. The devil is in the details. Absolutely true for this moon. Pay attention to the little things. The little things matter, because the little things that you usually gloss over, that's what's going to trip us up. And we don't want to be tripped up. This moon, as I mentioned, has a very watery energy. So this is a time for deep introspection. I know the full moon is illuminating, but it's different when we have an eclipse. When we have an eclipse, the energy is super heightened and it's erratic. It's all over the place. It can even feel chaotic. This stellium in Pisces makes the emotional world, your subconscious, also because Pisces rules the 12th house, your subconscious is very malleable. It's very open. It's very permeable. So there's a lot that is happening in the deep waters of this Piscean energy that is telling us, hey, look here. Don't forget to ground your energy. This is an energy to create, to connect with your guides, to connect with your intuition, and to learn how to trust your intuition, learn how to navigate your intuition, learn the symbols. Your soul speaks in symbols. Your soul speaks in sometimes convoluted ways to the human mind. Let's just be honest. Spirit does not give you A or B answers. It's not multiple choice because there are multiple timelines. This is why, if you know me, you know that it gets me irate when I hear channelers speak in divisive terms of duality. And they're supposedly channeling higher dimensional beings. Sir, madam, if you are channeling higher dimensional beings, they do not speak in A or B. If this thing happens, then this happens. And if that happens, then this happens. That's not how spirit speaks. Because there is no duality in the higher realms. Because there are multiple timelines we can tune into. Because we are multi-dimensional beings existing on multiple planes of existence, having different incarnations, who knows where. So it's not A or B, it's not black or white, it's not multiple choice. This is why you can't really predict what's going to happen. The reason that some people can predict is because of pattern recognition. When you learn how to recognize and decipher the patterns, you can predict with pretty certain accuracy the direction in which someone will go because you understand human nature. This is what intuition gives you. Intuition gives you the keys to recognize patterns and to decipher patterns. And through your ability to recognize these patterns and human nature, to understand the underlying driving force of humanity, that's how you can maybe, to some degree of accuracy, predict. I won't say fully because we're living in very energetically malleable times. But this is what your intuition gives you. These are the keys and the codes that you can tap into when you enter these portals like this full moon. There is a lot of energy of communication, of expansion, of healing, deep healing, transmutation. Energies are wild, so it is really important to ground, especially with all this Pisces energy. Pisces is a wonderful sign. I love Pisces. I know many Pisces, and Pisces can be very ungrounded and unsure of themselves and the direction in which they are going, because they are so connected to oneness and to the ethers that they often have a hard time grounding and being on this earth. They actually don't want to be on this earth. They don't want to be here because, come on, let's face it, right now it appears that earth is pretty ghetto and pretty much a hellhole. And this is why all those jokes, those memes circulating about how the aliens, drive by Earth and lock their doors and windows because they don't want anything to do with Earth. That's why. Because the energy is very intense here on Earth, because we are seeing such a a strengthening of duality as opposed to a union. However, in order for us to ascend, we must shake out the fleas. So all of the fleas, all of the unprocessed stuff, all of the stuff that we as a humanity and a collective have not worked on, all that needs to come up in order for us to ascend. You cannot ascend if you are holding on to baggage from past lifetimes, from your ex-lover, from whatever. You cannot ascend if you are full, that's the image I just got. Okay, I'm going to share it. If you are trying to swim and you have rocks in your pockets, you're going to sink. That is why we must clear ourselves. It's terrible, but that's the image that just popped into my head as I'm sharing this information with you guys. So it's a very dreamy, a very beautiful, joyful time, this Adar season, and it's very intense. It can be both at the same time, and I know that this is hard for people to wrap their heads around. We want things to only be light and love and joyful and unicorns and rainbows and puppies and butterflies, and we don't want to deal with the hard stuff. That is a human tendency. It is very human. And it is exactly the opposite of what we need to be doing. We must find the joy and the beauty and the grace in those moments when we are going through those dark nights of the soul, when we are unraveling the deep karmic loops and the ties and the contracts, and we are closing shit out. We need to bring joy and lightness to that energy, because now is the time to clear. Now is the time to bring purification. Virgo likes everything neat, clean, and tidy, and very pure. Very pure energy is this Virgo moon. So there's this energy, there's this pull for us to clear, to purify, to let go, to clean. You might even be pulled to clean your house, like do a really, really deep clean. That's this energy. This energy wants you to clean out the darkest recesses of whatever is happening in your life in order for you to step into your mission. This is what this energy wants you to do. Go in, do the deep cleaning, do the heavy lifting. Do not be afraid of it. Do not be afraid to get dirty in order to get yourself to the next level. In order to get fully purified and fully clean, we need to go into the depths. We cannot, this is not the time to be fluffy and pussyfooting around. This is a time to be paying attention to your dreams. Your dreams are very prophetic during this time. Pisces is very connected to the dream world, to the subconscious, to the unconscious realms, to what is the unseen. But don't forget to ground your energy. Do not forget to ground your energy. This is a very healing energy. We have the opportunity to heal the subconscious, to heal our past lives, to integrate the gifts. Yes. To integrate the gifts of our past lives. Especially, so the moon is your incarnated experience. It is conjunct the south node, the south lunar node, which is your past lives. Right now, if we do the work to cleanse, to purify, to do the clearing and the heavy lifting, we can integrate the gifts of past lives. We can access those gifts, integrate them, and bring them forward to support us on our mission this lifetime. So there's a lot of energy and there's a lot of intensity to this moon, and there's a lot of work we have to do. There's a tendency in society now to not want to have the difficult conversations, to not want to say the thing that needs to be said, to not want to acknowledge the elephant in the room, and we need to stop it. We just need to stop it. Stop it. There are certain realities within and certain constructs, biological, spiritual laws, natural laws that we work within because we chose to incarnate on this earth. This earth has certain parameters within which life evolves. It's time to stop acting like those don't exist. I know Pisces is super dreamy and wants to be up in the ethers and is all about the subconscious and oneness and all the unseen and all the fluffy stuff. However, Virgo is very grounded. Virgo is very realistic. Virgo is very methodical and analytical and wants to do the things the right way. the fusion of those two energies, this is why they are polar opposites, because the magic comes when you fuse the physical world with the unseen, the cosmic celestial realms. The magic comes when you bring that energy and ground it into the earth. That's when we live the Malkuta. That's when we live the divine kingdom. When we know how to work with the unseen, what it's here to show us, and we ground that cosmic energy in the earth. This is this energy of this moon. We are here to ground cosmic energies and to redefine, to support Earth on her ascension path by being able to be the vessels for cosmic light, be the vessels for creation. This is why, like in all of my meditations, in all the sound activations I've shared with you, I ground you into the celestial realms, and I ground you into the earth, because it is important for us to recognize our physical vessel, our existence, as the bridge between the unseen and the seen. This is how we birth the 5D. This is how we are co-creating the fifth dimensional light grid of Earth. This is how we are creating the new Earth, the new reality. It's something that we are living here and now. It's not something that's out there fluffy and whatnot. No, that happens when we ground cosmic energies in our body, in our vessel, and we birth it into the world. Do not let yourself be ungrounded. I know that there is a lot of negativity in the world. There's a lot that's being shown, and there's a lot of atrocities that are coming to light. Do not let energies that are not of the light feed on your light. Do not let yourself be misguided and misled, and let yourself constantly be in fight or flight, constantly be in fear or in anger and some kind of emotional whatever, because that is depleting. That is not you being in your center, in your heart, in your grounded sovereignty. It seems like there is all this rage baiting, particularly on social media, but in the media as well, overall. And all that does is drain your power. It drains, you give your power emotionally away to something outside of you. This energy is about you coming back into your sovereignty, into your power, being comfortable enough to stand your ground, to know what you are aligning with and what that means to you, and to hold your energy. Learn what your energy is, learn how your energy moves, learn how it interacts with other people's energy, and stay grounded. Stay fully present in the moment, no matter what is happening. Do not allow yourself to be rage baited or emotionally manipulated or caught out there because you're giving, you're so attached to something, an ideology, whatever it is. You're so attached to one outcome that you become emotionally chained to that outcome, so that you give your power away to that emotionally. You want to be in control of your emotions. You want to not be flip-flopping between whatever the latest thing on whatever is. You want to be grounded. You want to be centered. You want to be heart-centered. You want to know when your ego is talking and when your soul is speaking. Because the ego needs to really take a couple seats in the back, and you need to start leading from your soul. This is how spiritual sovereignty works. We lead from the heart, from the soul, and we learn how to navigate the world with the tools of the ego, but we do not allow the ego to lead us. Virgo is a sign of service. This is why it is the high priestess. The high priestess is the one who serves humanity, serves the light, serves creation. And it is important for us to be in our sovereignty. Mother Mary, the traditional image of Virgo. Mother Mary was not a innocent bystander that somehow, Gabriel decided, hey, you right there in the front in the blue, I'm going to pick you to be the vessel through which Yeshua is incarnated into the earth. No. Mother Mary was a high holy teacher. Mother Mary was a Kadisha, a holy woman. Mother Mary was trained by Mother Anna, born of light conception, and trained by Mother Anna to be a high priestess, a woman who could hold, to be the vessel through which a high holy light being could be incarnated on the earth, and this was Yeshua. She was not an innocent bystander. She was trained from an early age. She was trained before birth because she herself was born of light conception. So all these images of, just the woman is just a passive, innocent bystander. The light just came in, and it's all nice and fluffy, and it's a beautiful story, but it's not reality. The reality is, this woman was, Mother Mary was, and is a high holy teacher, a light being, an ascended master, and she was trained. Her body was prepared, her emotional self was prepared, her mental and energy bodies, every part of her was prepared for the role of being the vessel through which Yeshua was meant to incarnate. And this is what we are all doing when we are faced with this energy of Virgo in the moon. We are being asked to step into your sovereignty, to do the purification and the hard work for you to be that pure vessel through which the light of creation can incarnate and be birthed into the earth. This may be a project, this may be a book, this may be music, it may be a child. Whatever it is, we are all here to deliver whatever gifts we're here to deliver on this earth. And this is this full moon energy. And before I go on anymore, I'm going to close it there because that's the crux of it. We are here to deliver and share the gifts of the divine, the gifts that we have on loan from the divine. We are here to deliver those. And we must be ready for that. We must prepare ourselves. We must purify ourselves. We must clear ourselves of whatever it is that we're holding on to. Whatever karmic loops need to be closed, we gotta close them. And this portal allows us to do that. So take full responsibility of this energy, for your energy, for the energy that's coming in, so you can step into your power, your sovereignty, and step into your mission, your purpose, what you yourself came here to deliver. Have a blessed full moon. Don't be scared by the intensity of the energy. Just make sure you ground, drink plenty of water, eat nourishing foods. Don't forget to tune into the sound activation for this moon, which is linked below in the show notes. If you enjoyed this, like, share, subscribe, follow. I'm not sure how the podcast situation works, but you know how it works. 5-star review. If you want to follow me on Instagram, you can find me at Aurea or at Embodying the Shekhinah. You can also find me on YouTube at Aurea, and I share longer format videos on that platform. So do check that out. And as always, I thank you for your time and your energy, and enjoy the sound activation for this moon. Ahava. Blessings.